Hey, welcome back to the Blue Collar Off-Road Podcast, episode 21. I'm Graham, I'm here with Luke, Richie. Oh, shit. We're actually not here with Richie today. I'm just used to going through the whole crew here. I'm here with Luke, Cody, and Curtis today, and Richie's actually out for some personal things, nothing bad, hopefully all good. We'll know in a little bit. But I think Curtis, it kind of works out because Curtis has some stuff that he went and did. I think it was last weekend, right? Or 2 weekends ago, Curtis?
That was 2 weekends ago.
Yeah, so he
Yeah.
went on a trip that seemed like it was pretty fun. Bunch of pictures from that. So he's going to talk about that. And for the rest of this, I think we're just going to see where the bullshit takes us.
Yeah, I got to go to Winterfest with Naxcha, the Midwest chapter at the Badlands Off-Road Park in Indiana. Probably my favorite local park, which unfortunately is still 4 hours away, but we make it work. We went, a couple of buddies and I rented a house or cabin, I guess they call it. Basically, it's a giant ass house that fits like 14 people in it. So we had a good time, hung out, did a lot of wheeling, a lot of drinking during the night. So probably one of my favorite trips that I've ever gotten to take there so far. Hopefully we get some better ones though.
I have to say
Yeah.
that it's kind of funny that our favorite trip of the year is Badlands in Vermont and yours is Badlands in Indiana.
I'd imagine the Badlands by you is a lot better than ours.
Ours is
It's-
pretty good. It's a pretty fun place, not a super crowded kind of a place. Like there's a lot of different trails that interweave, like go to the same point, but it's not anything crazy, but it's a sick time for sure.
Yeah, you could probably take, for example, like if we were doing a club run up there, you could probably take like a couple people on 35s and 33s, 4 Jeeps doing that, and then you could have 4 Jeeps on tons playing on the blacks and reds and stick together as a group just due to the way it interweaves.
Kind of like how Roush is.
Kinda, yeah.
Okay.
If Roche was smaller and on the top of a mountain. Yes.
Yeah.
Isn't Roush technically on the top of a mountain?
I don't know.
No, Roush is the mountain. This is like you go to the top park and then go wheel to the rest of the mountain. Like it's
Oh. Oh.
Yeah.
yeah, it's a good time for sure.
That does sound like a lot better time than what we got, but there's still
Well-
some nasty obstacles out there.
Well, tell us about it then. What come on, stop blue balling us. Give us the fucking goods. Give us what we want to hear, Curtis.
I
Give
mean,
it to
what do you
us.
want to hear? You want to hear the good or the bad?
Start with whatever you feel suits you.
Start with the good. Let's go with
Let's
the good.
start with the good. I mean, there's some obstacles there that I've tried before, never really been able to do. And for some reason, this weekend, I guess my balls decided to drop and I really got after it. It's literally the hardest I've ever wheeled that Jeep. And I mean, I was bouncing off limiter, banging against rocks and stuff, roasting the tires constantly. Something that, I mean, you guys wheeled me once now, and that's not something that I normally do. I get afraid of the skinny pedal, but using
So-
the skinny,
Did we break you?
I think you guys might have at the end of the weekend because this is literally the first or the second time I've gone wheeling since I wheeled with you guys. And that time when I went to Rocks and Valleys up here between then and when I went to Badlands, I kind of started getting after it. I just kind of got into the mood of I don't really care. Break. You know what I mean?
That's a good
And-
mindset. I like that mindset.
Oh, that was my mindset going into this weekend or to that weekend. I went in there. We got there Thursday. We did like 2 hours of wheeling down in the quarry, which is where a lot of the obstacles and stuff are. There's some gnarly stuff, some easy stuff. So I got out on the easy stuff first thing Friday. I'm like, okay, everything's going good. Nothing sounds bad. Saturday, first thing, I hit probably one of the hardest obstacles in the quarry. That's actually attainable because I mean there are some that are basically straight 90-degree vertical walls. Not possible. But this one, I tried it 2 years ago or last year, and I got to the top and I got stuck.
That's
And
rough.
I wanted to conquer that so bad. So first thing Saturday morning, 9 o'clock rolls around, park opens up, we head out. There I am sitting on limiter, roasting the front tires, trying to heat them up, make sure I can get up this thing. And I mean, my trans temps were at like 260. The engine temp was at like 240. I'm like, oh man, you son of a bitch, you better do this. I gave it one. I said to my co-pilot, I said, you know what? I'm giving it one last shot. I'm going to bump it as hard as I possibly can. Bumped it as hard as I could, and I made it right up that thing. I was like, holy shit. And it's not broken. All right, here we go. This is going to be a good weekend.
You gotta love that feeling.
And I mean, the weekend progressed. We had a good time. There's one climb that is kind of has a huge drop off, like a 6-foot drop off on the one side of it. And I know the line to do it. I wanted to try something new. Decided to try that line. And I probably spent about a good 5-6 seconds on 2 tires because of that. Started going up. Felt the rear end slip out a little bit. Went off to the side. Kind of got cockeyed a little bit. I didn't let out like a dumbass. I learned that from Luke. And
What? Not letting out?
Not letting out when you think you might possibly have it. I didn't have it. I get to this point and I'm like, okay. Oh shit,
When
this
did I
isn't
do
good.
that?
Slam. I don't know. Maybe when you blew the tire off. But I slammed that thing in reverse and I put my foot to the floor and the Jeep dies. I'm like, oh shit, this isn't good. I said, hang on, dude. We go up. We fall off the side of the rock. And the thing, I'm like, oh fuck, here we go. We're going onto our side. And it stops. And we kind of sit there for a minute. And then I threw my body weight up against the door and the Jeep goes up and back over and onto all four. I'm like, holy shit. Oh,
That's always a weird feeling, that like
it's
riding the line.
worst. Yeah. But immediately after that, I said, okay, I'll just try the regular line. Went right up it, like, whatever.
For me,
I mean, it.
oh, sorry. For me, the worst is when you get one corner where you feel your, like, any input that you make in the steering wheel, or like if you feel like you kind of like lean a little and that one corner just feels weightless and like it's just attached to your body. That's such a fucking weird feeling.
Oh man, it's so bad too, because it's like, oh man, like I know I'm good, but I really don't want to roll this thing right now. But
Yeah.
I was fully prepared for it, and I've been wanting to actually kind of roll it just to see what happened, because I've never rolled it. I mean, I put on its side lightly, but I want a good roll.
I'm good.
I know a
don't
lot
want-
of people say they're good, but I want to do it once just to see what it's like. Just like
Maybe-
never want to do
You-
it again.
You have a friend, you know, he drives a red as shit box with 2 doors onto it, and he does not give a fuck. If you really want to roll, just take a nasty ride with him, and you'll definitely.
Colin didn't roll up until I think
We've been a
first
bad
time,
influence.
Yes, I mean I
You
think
guys are bad
all of us have
influences.
been a bad influence on each other, but I don't
No.
not counting the time that he rolled it on back roads in Maine, which is the only time I knew that he'd never rolled it actually wheeling. That was the only time he ever rolled the thing.
Wait, so he just started like rolling this thing over?
Yeah,
recently?
that Marbell roll was the first time
Wait,
he'd ever
wait,
rolled wheeling.
The time with Marvell was his first time ever rolling.
Yes.
Like, not
Yeah,
rolling,
rolling
he
on trail.
flopped it. He flopped
Yes.
it. So I mean, it
It
doesn't really
wasn't
count as
really
like. No shit, dude. He acted so nonchalant, like it was his like he does this every other weekend.
Well, because
That's so
what
funny.
else do you gotta do? Like it just flops on its side. Like
Yeah.
I don't know what.
Flip it
Well, he
over,
is-
kick
What
it
else
out,
can
and
you
go.
do? You flip it over. You keep going.
I know.
Yeah, and then fucking there were multiple other events with him after that that have just been very nonchalant about it.
Or his girlfriend rolling it for him.
That happened so quickly.
That was the
Nobody knew
funniest
what
thing
even-
the funniest thing to witness in my entire life. You guys kind of figured out what exactly happened, right? So as it crawled up the rock, she got nervous. So then she
Oh, yeah,
bobbled the
boosted.
clutch, and she just fucking dumped the clutch. The thing went yeet, just landed on its side, and everyone's like, "Oh shit! Oh shit!"
Well, the
It
funniest
was like a tame rock garden. It wasn't like anything insane. Like nothing you should be rolling on.
for me, the funniest part about all of that when that happened though was I was like casually standing on my tire looking over someone else's Jeep, and then all of a sudden I see Colin's Jeep come up and then just flop off out of view.
Yeah,
But
that was my favorite roll by far. That was fucking hilarious.
I feel like we should stop giving away his fucking secrets at this point and like maybe strangle him and fucking abduct him for a podcast or something of those likes, because we've only been talking about it for like 20 episodes now.
Yeah, one of these days.
One of these days, maybe, if the people are lucky.
Honestly, I can kind of understand, Luke, why you feel the way you feel about rolling after watching you roll Ducky that one time. That was a hard roll.
That
was a hard
fucking
flop.
hurt. That
Okay, but
fucked
it's
me
a hard
up.
flop when you've got a 3-point fucking harness.
Oh yeah, well that
and
was the problem with it. I've got better
Yeah.
shit now because of that. I
But
fucked
that
up.
did not help. No way that was comfortable.
Wait, the
was
one
like
at
definitely
the
a hard
topless
hit.
day?
Yeah,
Yes.
in the parking lot.
That was hilarious.
In the wait. In the parking lot,
Yes,
you
Yeah.
rolled the Jeep.
No,
Yes.
no, not in the parking lot. He was
it was close enough.
technically in the wheeling zone. There was a big boulder, and I forget who
Hi.
it was.
Hi, it's us. It was
There were a
me
bunch
and
of
my
people
friends.
egging him on, and somebody was like trying to get him up to go on the rock. It's this big boulder, like probably 2 times the size of the Jeep, and just round,
Yeah.
just a round rock. Like there's nothing for him to do to get up on. No reason to go on top of this rock. There's nothing over
But
there.
why the fuck not?
Exactly. So he was trying, and it just didn't go over so well.
It was hilarious. It was
No.
my group of friends. It was our first time that we ever saw these guys, and they were fucking around, and we were like, "Go on the rock, go on the rock." And Luke looks over. He's like, kind of like looking over. He's like, "That one?" And we're like, "Yeah, go for that." He just turns into it, and he just climbs up it, hops a little bit, comes back down, goes for another one, hops a little bit, third try, yeet, go. And then just like slid off the side. It was great.
Yeah,
Oh,
and when it
man.
was sliding, I felt it starting to catch. I didn't realize that it was going to catch and go over, so I pinned it and cut into it catching and just yeeted myself over.
Well, speaking of bad influences, this weekend when I was at Winterfest, we had one of my buddies had broken on an obstacle, and we were down like in the middle of the quarry, just sitting watching all these people. This dude in a really, really nice XJ, and people listening might know who this is, but Logan Calwick's old XJ is in Michigan, LS swapped, tons, 40-inch sticky traps, ORIs, all that kind of stuff. Like, the thing is beautiful. And this dude that owns it now was trying to go up a hill or up this ledge, and it's pretty steep. And he's like, he gets to the top of the engine, just bogs down. It can't go up. So he has to back down. And he keeps trying. And finally, he finally just gave up. And so the guys I was with were like, "Hey, beer's on me tonight if you can do that backwards." So I go over there. I drive over. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do it the first time. I'm going to take the fucking steering wheel out and hang it out the fucking window as I'm driving up it. So I do that. The Jeep basically just crawls right up it. I barely even have to get into it at all. So I do it. I'm holding the steering wheel up above. I think at one point I actually set it on top of the Jeep, drove back around down, looked at it for a minute, looked like I was going to go at it from forward again, and then went up to it and turned around, got up backwards. I remember the first time I tried to go up it, it didn't feel good at all, because as soon as I started going up, I was like, holy shit, this is a lot steeper than I really thought it was. As I'm sitting there looking straight down at the ground, I'm like,
You're not even
this is a
sitting,
bad
just
idea.
being suspended, probably.
Yeah, I'm literally just hanging in my seat at this point by the
just
side.
hanging by your balls and your
Yeah.
shoulders.
Just like, okay, yep, this is great. This is a great idea. So
And we'll make sure to post this on the Instagram. You'll have to send us this video so we can post it, because that sounds phenomenal. That's
okay. But there is I was like, okay, I threw it into drive, went back down, because the tires had started slipping a little bit. I'm like, I'm not doing this if the tires are slipping. So I gave it another shot. I got a little bit higher that time, going a little bit faster. I'm like, okay. This is good. I like this. This doesn't feel great, but we're good. We'll give it a shot. I fucking just yeeted it right up the freaking hill. In one of the videos someone got, that slow motion, you can see it as the rear tires come up and over. They kind of just sit and hang there in the air for like a second, and then they come down. And I saw that video afterwards. I'm like, oh, that has got to be one of the dumbest things I've ever done while wheeling.
Yeah, because that would have been a hard flop too, because it would have been all of that weight transferring over. That would have been scary.
Right onto its roof. Which,
Whew.
I mean, yeah, it would have sucked, but at that point I was like, yeah, fuck it. Why not? Why not try something new? And I got out and everybody was like, are you fucking insane, dude? I was like, why? It wasn't that bad. Do you realize how steep that is? I was like, yeah, I know, but did I die?
Nope.
No.
Technically, you're on the podcast a little while later, so fucking
Yeah, I'm
no.
not dead. So,
Although,
turns out I kept wheeling the rest of the day. We did some real easy stuff. There's a V notch that takes a little bit of a bump to get up because there's an undercut on it. And we did that. And then we went back to camp. We split off from like the Total Off-Road podcast group and went to another group or went back to camp with another group because they had the cabin right next to us. Then we went back out because we were able to wheel till like 9 o'clock. So we went back out at like 8 o'clock just to do some easy stuff in the quarry. And we go out and I'm feeling this weird clunking noise. Hearing it, feeling it every time I go drive to reverse. I'm like, I wonder if I broke a drive shaft, broke a joint cap, whatever, no big deal. Didn't think anything of it. Kind of went away by the time we were headed out. Go to load it up the next morning to come back home. Crawl underneath the thing, and as I'm strapping it down, I look at the cross member, and I can see inside of the tube that used to be my cross member that's below my upper link bracket. I'm like, son of a bitch, I guess I did break it.
Oh my God.
You have a tube as your cross member.
Square tube. Yeah,
Okay.
and it didn't break any of my welds. I'm an amazing welder. I know. Don't tell me. But it literally broke like about a quarter inch outside of each and every single one of those welds. It just tore it right up. Just tore the plate right in half.
Jesus.
Bent the whole cross member in half. Like, I realized as cool as that was to go flex on those guys doing that hill climb backwards, that's the only reason why that did that.
Jeez.
Yep.
I'm surprised you made it the rest of the event or time being having that fucked up.
The little bit that's left on there, I have no clue how in the hell that thing held together. Like,
Jesus.
I think it might possibly be pinned between the tube because not all of the tube broke because there's like the lower link bracket like right in front of that's kind of all welded together, and I think it's still slightly attached there, but I think it's like jammed between that and my seat mount, which is not like a stereotypical seat mount. It's a piece of 120 wall tubing that's in like an oval shaped off the back of my cage. So it is supported pretty well, but I have no clue how that thing did not just shoot up through the floor and ruin everything.
you're scaring me now because I just fucking like burned all my 4-link shit in, but I'm gonna tie it in as well as I can, and it looks like I might be able to get away with dual tie-ins directly into the B pillar to hold the upper link. It's like a 8-inch gap, so I might be able to just throw a piece of tube on it.
Yeah, that's probably a really good idea. And I have a piece of tubing laying on the ground right now that was notched and fitted from something on my cage to that to hold the upper link mount in place. And I decided to put rock lights on instead that weekend.
Hey, you can say whatever you want about my Jeep, but you will never hear that sentence that just came out of his mouth come out of my mouth.
Well, you know what? I knew we were going to get to do some night wheeling. And I'm like, you know what? I don't have any rock lights, nothing underneath it. I don't think anybody else that I wheel with does. all right, fuck it. I'm just going to put some lights underneath it that I had sitting aside for like 5 months now. And I finally just said, you know what? Fuck it. I think the cross member is good for the weekend. It should be fine. We're going to do this instead. I spent a day and a half wiring those all up and putting them in. And now I freaking hate myself for doing that, not welding that piece in tube in.
Well, that's the
wiring-
reason I'm. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Just quick blurb here. The wiring stuff is a pain in the ass. You go in, you're like, oh yeah, it'll just be like, it's 4 little lights or however many you did. I'm not sure
Yeah.
what sort of rock lights you were doing, but you go in, think it's going to be super simple, but to actually do it right, it takes way too long. It's like a frustrating amount of time.
I hate doing it the wrong way because I feel like I have to redo it.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? I hate the way that some people do their wiring and the way that it looks. And like, I'm not an amazing wire or electrician, whatever you want to call it, or routing everything, but I at least make my stuff look halfway decent. I could not stand having a rig that had like loose wires and shit all the time.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Typical XJ stuff.
Well, so on that note, the reason that I said that is because I'm building that tie-in between the 2 mini cross members that ties into the B pillar node, and then I'm going to have the supports going directly to the B pillar for those uppers. So hopefully I should be able to keep them from wrapping. And like I'm going pretty autistic with the brace going to the front link mount, or for the 3-link on the front of my Jeep, because that was moving and that can't move anymore after I re-weld the cross member. I don't want to deal with it. I'm gonna fucking just fix it once.
That's kind of the way I'm at right now. It's like, okay, you know what? I'm going to fix this cross member this time. I had already just welded another piece of tube onto it off of the frame, which was the whole reason that I started doing everything. Or I had actually had the other piece because it's like, okay, these 2 pieces fit together. That matches perfectly up there. That matches perfectly there. All right, we're going to do that. That works out good.
Yeah.
And then I kicked myself in the ass for not putting it in.
Yeah, it's gonna be unfun to get that pulled back into position. But
Actually, the way that the tube tore, it shouldn't take much. I'll probably just unbolt all the links and everything and pull it back using a ratchet strap off the rear axle. Because
Oh
I
my
pulled,
God.
even underweight, I pulled it almost all the way back down already with a ratchet strap.
huh.
So it's not that bad. It's just going to be actually fixing it so it doesn't break again. Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, I totally understand that. That's what I'm doing with the with my front cross member on my XJ right now, is I'm tying all that in to the B pillar itself so that it doesn't cause me any extra issues. I'm done. I'm gonna make sure it's right. I'm cutting up a Clayton link bracket, and that's going to get burned onto the backside of my cross member for the upper link mount. Then I'm thinking 120 wall all the way back to the B.
That should hopefully be enough. I mean, with your luck, it'll probably rip off and explode and do crazy things, and we'll be laughing at it. But it sounds like it'll be good.
Hopefully. Any other cool? Oh, sorry.
No,
This is sort of an interesting conversation because I was actually I was on Barnes and Rough Stuff today looking at links, because if I'm going to cut out my floor, I'm going to take a look at my lower control arms at the frame side and upper control arm at the frame side and redo those correctly. Well, I guess I'm going to look at them, and I've said this a couple times, I'm pretty sure, but I'm going to take a look at them and see how they're doing. As far as I know, they're doing okay, but I'm not, as you all know, I'm not happy with how it's set up because it hangs on that cross member. If I'm going to be redoing the entire floor and setting things up, properly, I might as well build it with the floor out and have it be exactly what I want it to be.
This might be me, Clayton, fangirling, but I really don't think there's any issue with your cross member. It's not as big of a
there's
hang
nothing
up.
wrong with it. But
Maybe just redo that upper link.
yeah, the upper I need to take a look at, but at the same time, I think I'm personally, I think if I just cut the Clayton crossmember out, take a piece of 2x4 and stick it in between the frame rails with plating, because I'm going to have all that access. There's literally nothing going to be in the way with the floor out, which is happening soon. So, I don't know.
Is there a duck on your finger, Hackbar?
Oh my god, yes, sorry. I totally just forgot about that. My roommate's dog outside when I went out there quick a minute, and this was on my finger. Sorry.
To clarify,
That is
he
quality.
has like a little stuffed animal, but it's like just the head of it's just the head of it. I'm so sorry that I brought it up. I couldn't help it. Oh Jesus.
Well, I guess that was a comedic interlude compared to you dropping dead.
Oh jeez. I just had my speaking of weird things happening, I just had my fingernail crack in half. So it's literally gone on my thumb.
Ouch.
And it looks weird. Yeah. Well, it's been dead. I had a few bricks tossed onto it a few weeks ago, actually probably about a month ago now. So it was very black and blue, but I just actually hit it on my leg and it just completely cracked and I was hanging by a little like piece and it hurts. So enjoy that. So you said that you had another break on trail with a Wrangler, I think it was?
Me?
Yes.
No, this is my shifter.
No, I thought there was.
Yes, with the Total Off-Road podcast crew.
Yes.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, I thought I saw something about it. Like a whole entire, like the ball joint fell out or something.
Yeah, it was a Super Duty 60, and the guy had been taking the wrong line, and he broke the passenger side axle shaft, and it did its thing that ball joints do when you break axle shafts. The thing went pop, and the tire fell right off. And he's on I want to say about a 10-foot ledge, I would say, when he did this. So it's in a very, very crappy spot. So they had a winch tied to, or his winch tied to a tree, another winch tied to a branch off of a tree to pick the Jeep up. Then there was 7 dudes that also picked the Jeep up so we could get the axle shaft and everything out. And I don't know how in the hell we managed to do this, but between all of us, we managed to get everything out, roll the tire down the hill, get the knuckle or outer knuckle off of the tire, pick the Jeep up enough to set it back on, get the ball joints pressed back into place, or back in the one back into socket and the other one into place, and then pick it up and get the tire back on it. And then he drove back down the hill. I have no fucking clue how we managed to do that.
Damn.
Jesus. That is wow.
Yeah, it was
Trail ball joints suck.
Yeah, especially when they're blown apart and you have to cut the brake line, because he had no brakes the rest of the night. But to get the tire and everything out, we had to. But
oh my god.
Yeah, I felt so bad for the guy because he's like, "Oh fuck it, just drive the goddamn thing back down the hill." I was like, "Oh, dude, that's not a good idea. I mean, we could pick it up and put a log under the axle and do that, but you're not just gonna drive down on the axle down the hill." He's like, "Yeah, I am." I'm like, "Oh, dude, that's a bad idea." We had there was 12 dudes there. I'm pretty sure we could have all literally picked that Jeep up and done all the work on it.
Wow. So it was just as exciting as I thought it was then. I thought I saw a picture video from it and it looked like a mess.
And every single time we went to pick that thing up, it's like everybody's fingers clear. Because there was one time where they picked it up and that thing slid over a good 6-8 inches. And oh my God, dude, I swear to God, one of the guys about shit himself. He ran down the hill like a little jackrabbit because the thing almost landed on him. Safety third.
Hey, you gotta know that's why God gave you 10 fingers. You got 9 spares. You lose one, oh well. You just make the other one makes up for it. You know.
Yeah, that's kind of the way I see it. But I did have another break too with my the actual shifter for my transmission. I was in a really, really shitty spot. Actually, it was at that same spot I was talking about earlier where I almost flopped it. Because when you get too close to that edge, it gets kind of hairy, where it feels like it might flop, but all you really got to do is back down a little bit, and it's fine. And I was going up it, doing whatever, and I have a Sidewinder. No, it's a winter shifter, Rad Designs, basically Rad Designs winter shifter for Cherokee.
Mhm.
And I go to slam that thing into reverse, and it won't go. It will not go. Like, I can't move it anywhere except for first or second. I'm like, what the fuck? Dude, I took that thing, I slammed that thing as hard as I possibly could so I could back down this, because I can't really do anything else other than back down it at that point.
Hmm.
And I did that. It went into reverse. And then I had no other gears after that. It was like I had a bunch of neutrals.
Oh God.
The shifters just flopping all over the place. I'm like, oh shit! I just
When
broke
did
my
you put a
trans-
4LE60 in there?
It never. But I'm like, ah, shit! I just broke the transmission. My weekend's over. Damn it! I get out. I look underneath. Cable's still attached. And I'm like, hey man, you want to pull on that shifter a minute? And he starts pulling on the lever, and the thing underneath's not moving. I'm like, huh? I actually just broke the shifter. So I'm there. I am on the side or on a trail. I'm like, well, I don't really have tools here. Someone gave me just enough tools to be able to get that thing apart. I start looking inside, and the actual cable is as like a threaded rod end, and I want to say it's only like 1/4 inch or 5/16, but I had actually sheared the threaded end off of the rod. That
Wow.
holds that, yeah, the shift cable. I sheared the threaded end off of it.
Auto problems.
Yeah, shut up. Not everybody can be spoiled and know how to drive with 3 feet.
Wait,
But
do you not know how to drive standard at all?
oh, I can drive standard. I just could
Oh.
not wheel it.
Okay, you scared me there for a second. I mean, like,
I mean,
get it,
okay.
not wanting to, but
I would probably stall it the first time. Not gonna lie, it's been quite a while. So
yeah, I mean,
It
that's
takes me
Yeah,
a minute,
well,
but-
no, like, I killed a clutch I didn't kill it, but I definitely broke it in quite harshly the first time I was wheeling standard. Cody was there. It was funny. I stalled all over the place.
Oh,
Yeah,
you,
and-
you had it easy because you could just wheel at Richie's till you were proficient, and then you could go and wheel with the group.
Well, yes.
Yeah, see, I didn't have that luxury.
I think the only
Shit
way
on me
that
the entire time.
And we
Only
still
way-
do.
the only
Yep.
way I could honestly wheel on a standard is if it was set up like Collins.
You honestly don't need Collins setup. That would just
I know,
confuse
but I think I could actually do that versus trying to 3-foot it. I'd be better off.
oh,
You
you're
just
talking about his
flip clutch.
hand throttle?
you don't
Yeah.
need that. You don't need
See, the
that.
problem with
I
this hand
barely use
throttle-
the brake.
Yeah, but the problem with this hand throttle is it constantly sticks because there's not enough tension on that whatever he's pulling against, the whatever the fuck the little mechanism's called.
Well, he just
I
needs to
don't-
clean it out or use a different. That's
He probably just needs a new cable in there.
Probably.
True.
But I'm putting one in. I'm going off of the pedal itself. I'm not going to the engine bay. So we'll see how that works.
lame. You don't need it. Just slip clutch harder. That's what I
I've been
Just
doing
dump
that
the
for a
clutch
year,
like Dina
but
did.
do. No, you don't dump it. You just slip it. You let it sit at the point where it's not moving and it's just slipping, and then you just give it the beans and then let it off. That's what I do.
That sounds
It's
like a good
horrible
way
for
to
my
roast a clutch. Okay.
I'm only on my second clutch, and the first one probably wasn't even bad. The reason I changed it was because the motor it's still doing it. It's just hemorrhaging oil from the timing cover down the back of the motor straight into the oil or into the transmission bell housing, which is
Yeah.
getting oil all over the the friction material, and then it is not. doing
It
what it's
doesn't
supposed to do.
stick.
That's what I'm going with. It's
Uh,
only, it was only bad in the morning. It would just like I'd be going up the steep ass hill I used to live on, and the whole thing would just be like, it didn't like it. It wasn't happy.
hey,
Wait,
all I'm
what-
gonna say is my clutch is on its third motor. So
Jeez.
Yeah, I'm just
Yeah, pretty sure I would kill a clutch every weekend if I had to do that.
You'd be surprised.
It's
Mine
I'm
not
a
should be
bad
dead.
driver.
So
No,
am I.
you just need to embrace the live a little attitude because you can only break it once a trip.
Fair.
Sometimes
Yeah,
more.
God.
Totally fair.
No, bullshit. I broke mine twice.
Well, I mean, like the kind of break where you can't wheel it anymore.
A catastrophic failure.
Yeah.
Is what he's
Okay,
getting.
you got a point. Kind of like you had.
Yeah.
Or it's like, well, shit, I fucked a lot of stuff up, so
On the trailer
I'm
it
done.
goes. I'm gonna enjoy the rest of my fucking weekend, and let me tell you, the second day was just as good as the first day.
So
yeah,
Graham.
riding with Colin
So
is about
Graham.
as good.
When am I getting a 231? Huh? I heard a little bit.
Pretty
Heard
soon.
you got some moves going on with your transfer case. Tell us a little bit about it.
Okay, well, the transfer case is done. Posted some pictures. I mean, it's put together. I'd probably take it apart once more to make sure everything's where I need it to be, clocking wise, when I actually install it. Really, the next step is I have to put brake line and bleed the brakes on the purple Jeep that's in the spot that I need to take mine apart in, and I need to pull my Jeep in and then park it till it's done, which shouldn't be too long, but we'll see.
Yep.
So, did you buy adjustable detents?
I
For the
did.
shift
They
rails?
came. They actually should have showed up today, but
Good.
I'm not where they are shipping to, so I will see this weekend.
Fair
I
enough.
say because those make a deal of difference. I tried with like the stock ones for a while, and they were always too tight. Like I would have to
One of them's
slam
fine.
on my.
One of them's fine.
Okay.
The other one, the one that is actuated by it's that rod with the pivot point at one end and the
Oh yeah,
actual lever at the actual like shift rod at the other end, and then the pieces in the middle. That one, no fucking way. I can't shift that. Like I was grabbing the shifter and like pulling on it, and push. Like I couldn't get it to
Yeah,
move except with a
it's-
screwdriver.
Yeah,
Like, on the-
that was you're talking about the one closest to like the front input.
There's two, at least on my
Yeah,
shifter. I've got the
You should
twin.
have two.
Yeah,
You
the
should
lower
have
one is easy. That's the 4-wheel drive, I believe, and the other one is the low range, high range, neutral, and that one was a pain in the ass. I think that's what it is.
You have a 205, right?
Yeah, maybe I'm thinking of it backwards.
No, one is all your front stuff. The other one is all your rear stuff. Because you can
Okay,
have
the front stuff one is easy. The rear one is a
Okay.
pain in the ass.
Okay, yeah. Because the rear one on mine was the one that I kept having issues with after I cut the rod or cut the shift fork
Mhm.
or shift rail. I had issues with it, and I finally just decided to get those adjustable detents. And oh my god, dude, it makes such a difference now.
Yeah.
Granted, the front output I have to constantly adjust it in because it keeps getting to a point where it'll pop out just under the pressure of driving. Just going up rocks, it'll once in a while just randomly pop out if I stock load it or something. So you do almost want them tight, but you don't want them too tight that you have to use a screwdriver to get it to go.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll
Which
see.
is-
I mean, it may be like the front output. I have no problem with that one. I mean, I'll have two adjustable detents. I guess I'll have to put it in and see how it feels when I have everything mounted, and I can actually put leverage on the shifter because me holding the base of the shifter and the shifter itself doesn't really give it, much room to, I can't put much leverage on it. So, well, I guess I'll have to see. I'll definitely need a detent or an adjustable detent for the rear output. That's for sure, because I can tell you right now it's going to be a pain in the ass. I might just leave the front one though.
Yeah, it's probably not a bad idea until it wears out to the point that
I mean,
it is just
if you
popping
can-
in and out.
Also,
Oh,
if you can
maybe
get me
if that's the
the
case, depending on how fucked they are. I mean, this thing was in a mud truck.
Ooh,
It's got new shift rails, but who knows what?
Yeah.
I've put all the new shits in. You can tell the old ones have been like beat to shit. Like there's a big groove where the ball was.
Mine had issues with, at first it would like, the rear would go in and out constantly. And it ended up being that when I put the, or when I modified the shift fork or shift rail, it didn't get cut far enough so that when I put it into four-wheel drive, it was like right on the edge of actually working, but it would once in a while just kind of kick it out. Which is sucked for my maiden voyage. But then I got that all fixed up. And the other one was,
You have to take that shit out when it didn't work.
oh yeah, I had to take the whole
That
fucking
sounds,
case
that sounds
apart.
miserable. See, this is
Yeah.
why I just bought the NWF rails.
Mm.
Like, I don't want to deal with that. I think you said you did you buy new rails or did you just
No, I modified
make yours
mine.
work?
And
Yeah.
I finally have them working correctly, which was kind of a pain in the butt. I mean, I followed all the directions online, but I seem to have been like slightly off
Yeah,
on my measurements doing it, which is super easy to do, I guess. And it didn't work. Like I could get front locked into high and rear locked into low.
That's fucking
Which-
annoying.
Oh my God, that is the worst. Unless you're on soft ground, it absolutely sucks. You literally have to lift one axle or the other up to get it back out. Or you have to be going drive to reverse really quick, which is easy on an auto. And while pushing on the lever to get it to pop out. Because there is like a slight bit of play that there's a point where it could let go, but you have to be really quick on it.
Damn. Yeah, that doesn't sound fun. Do you have? What's your shifter setup look like? That's the other thing. Is I mean, I sort of have an idea on how I want stuff to be oriented in there in my.
Oh,
cab,
let's see.
It's gonna be one of
So-
those deals where until I cut my floor out and start putting things back together, I have no idea what I want.
My regular shifter's probably about 6-ish inches further back than where like the stock like transmission shifter is. About 6 inches further back. And then like I have to reach up kind of a little bit awkwardly with my hand to do all of the stuff for the transfer case. But then it's kind of out of the way too for me once it's set. Does that make sense? So it's not something that I could bump with my arm and knock it out, or the passenger could bump for that matter and knock it out. It's just kind of in an awkward spot to work with. Like I couldn't do it quick. Does that make sense?
Well, I mean, I don't think a 205 is an easy transfer case to shift, anyways. Is it?
No,
it's not like something you can shift on the fly.
No, it's a fucking iron giant.
Yeah, you gotta just like.
I actually do have to be rolling to shift mine from low to high.
Oh,
like
okay.
mildly, not 20 miles an hour rolling, but just like ever so slightly rolling, or like going drive to reverse constantly while I'm holding pressure on it. Once in a while, but it's not all the time.
Yeah, that makes sense. If it's not lined up, it's not going to go. So yeah,
It
I don't
is
know.
a gear drive case, so it's going to be, you got to mesh the gears.
Yep. And there's definitely room for that to just not work. Those teeth are pretty big.
Yeah, and then having good detents too, or like loose detents on that side helps make it a lot easier to get that in and out of gear.
Yeah.
Also, I got to throw some shade. How many times did you have to recharge your RIs?
Okay. Yeah. First off, fuck you. I didn't have to touch them all weekend. Thank you.
That's because he just left them be. Were they still decent? Or
Actually, they honestly throughout the weekend they started when I first left here, low down the trailer. They were up about. I set them high to begin with. They had about 6 inches of up travel set on them, and when I got down there was like 3 to 4, and by the end of the weekend it was down around 2. So they did leak down, but now that it's sitting back in the garage, it's back up to almost 6, which I don't know. I'm not asking questions about, but it worked.
You're just going to say a prayer to the ORI gods and leave it alone?
Yep. I'm going to say a thank you actually to them for that one,
Hey.
for not having to touch them. I actually spent the entire weekend helping one of the other guys in our group tune his because he was having a lot of they felt real mushy all the time, and he wanted them a little bit stiffer, kind of like what I had. And we finally got his set up correctly over the weekend. So thank goodness I didn't have to touch mine.
Yeah, see the
I'll
ORI
toast
whisper.
to that.
But I wouldn't say that. I'm no expert on them. I
don't know. When at Roush, you were helping
that's
XJ
true. I
Mike
did help
with
Mike
his.
too. I did help
He
Mike with
hated his.
And then he said, "Oh, they're a little bit better, but I don't like the way it rides anymore." It's like, okay, what the fuck do you want from me, dude? I had like 200 psi left in the nitrogen tank. I'm like, so we can do like one thing with this. We can change the pressure in the lower chambers, but it might ride like shit. And that was one thing he complained about. Rode like shit.
Oh well.
But
I don't know, though.
kinda
I
had a-
like his build.
oh god,
I
I
don't like TGs, otherwise I'd like it. I know that just
he
sounds
wanted
like
to trade. He asked me actually when we were at Roush if I wanted to trade, like straight up. I said, well, I kind of got to keep my tires. But I was really, really tempted to text him on my way home and say, hey, man, I'm going to turn around. I want your Jeep. Let's trade.
I couldn't do it. His new Jeep is cool, but there's no good way to turn a TJ into like a crazy buggy.
I like
in
his
my opinion,
Jeep.
looks good.
I like his Jeep because
I
it's
don't like
at
the look
the
of 'em.
limit. It's at the
True.
absolute limit of streetable. You can't get
That thing's
any.
not straight. There's no way.
He's got plates and insurance on it, and he drives it from time to time.
And he's not getting pulled over. Hashtag free XJ Mike again.
I know. I was gonna say, how? That's worse than his XJ.
No,
I
it's
don't
not.
know.
His XJ was on full hydro, I think.
And
Was
his XJ was all chopped up.
Oh, yeah.
No,
that
no.
thing had.
Before that, wasn't
Oh.
that why he chopped it up?
I don't know. We'll have to get him on and ask him.
I was going to say, I want to say that he had it. I think the biggest thing is the fact that he had those wide stands. Where, I mean, he had those 42-inch MTRs literally completely out of the fender.
Yep.
So.
Hey, man, that's one way to do it. I do want to have a set of rims at some point in my XJ's life where my tires are sticking entirely out of the fenders just for the memes.
Oh,
You
God.
mean just like mine with the orange ones?
I
Because-
love those rims.
Oh, God, I hate them. I can actually turn on a trail now with the new one.
What
I got the-
What did you change? What rims are you using now?
I got the KMC machetes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the classics.
So,
That's what everybody gets.
Yeah, and they're super narrow, like to the point that my rear tires actually hit the shocks now, or the ORIs now, which when I built it, they didn't. So I know it's a lot narrower, but I can actually turn on a halfway decent radius now.
Could you
Instead
throw
of-
like some 1-inch spacers or something in there?
I could, and I probably will, because it's only the rear that hits anything. The front does not touch anything.
Well, if you send me my my Super Duty Steelies, I'll send you some 8x170 spacers. I only have 2.
I mean, we're already
Perfect rear.
we're already halfway to July. He should just bring them with him when he comes to Badlands.
Yeah, true. And I'm actually going to pick up a set on Wednesday from I think his name's Josh. Blanking.
Yep.
So
Well, if
I'm set.
when
on
I do
Super
come out
Duty
there,
now. Bring them with you.
well,
I don't know where
I was gonna say when I come out there again this summer, I'm taking them with me. You can have them.
Okay.
I
Whatever you
mean,
do
we
with them
could
is what
split
you do
'em.
with them.
We could split them
Yes.
because I'm sure that by then my stickies will have killed at least one of those fucking rims.
Yeah,
The
we'll have to
rims
do-
die before tires die.
I'm hoping.
Um,
I just bought some TMI. I didn't buy anything fancy, just like a rock ring, just literally like the thinnest little one they had to kind of give the lip of the rim some more meat.
I am really
try.
tempted to on the gold rims fucking weld on the stripper one just for the memes. And then
That is
spray
the
paint
most
them gold.
gaudy looking. I love it, but it's so. How do you put the fucking lug nuts on? It's in the way.
You don't. That's the thing. That's the whole point.
Swivel sockets, my boy.
I just thought about that. I hadn't even I didn't think.
You're gonna twist my arm into that, and it's gonna be fucking hilarious because they will be
They're not
spray
expensive.
painted
It's like
gold,
$30 a wheel. It's $30 a wheel. Just do it.
and then fucking
it.
black thong on the stripper.
Ooh.
Oh Christ.
You got to get sexy lady mud flaps for it too. Then
Yes. And then I've got shoot your local pedophile on the back of it now.
Oh my God.
Yeah. That thing's
Swag
gonna be a rolling meme. I picked up
already
another
is.
hatch. So I have to ask, when you crawled under it that first time, what was your first impression? Because you told me off the podcast and it was fucking great.
I said, I'm pretty sure I said, well, I guess it's not the way I would have done this, but I guess it'll work.
No, it wasn't even that. It was.
What?
It was.
Yeah, don't tell
holy
him that one.
fuck, it's cheap. But it's
Yeah,
right.
that's It was, holy shit, this is cheap. Like, it wasn't meant like a super douchey way. It's just like, oh my God, everything works, and it was done very cheaply. Holy crap, I could have done this instead of spent 20 grand on a Jeep.
I love that shit wagon. I get so much shit for it. So what was your we asked another guy that was on the podcast because we met him in a very similar manner to how we met you. What was your first impression of us when we showed up? Because I know you knew Colin, but
Okay, I knew Colin, and I talked to Colin basically since he was here. It was definitely, we talked for like 10 minutes, like, holy shit, did we just become best friends? And then while Luke was there, we were all pretty fucked up when Graham showed up. But it's like, okay, this kid's pretty cool. And then we started wheeling with him, and I started watching him like, oh my God, this motherfucker drove this thing here. What the fuck is this?
well, we've got a meme in the club that Graham is Mr. One Shot because he can drive, and he will drive his Jeep where he's going. And he likes to do everything in just one go. That's it. So,
Graham, you are fucking insane. And I like it.
It's like I don't know. I've got the truck to tow a trailer, but I don't know if I can buy a trailer until I, it's half the fun for me.
I was gonna say I would not
take the trailer pill.
I want my rig to be drivable. I don't like. I think it'd be a similar situation to the whole, Mike getting pulled over on the 42s that stuck outside the fenders. Like, if I'm not gonna, I haven't gotten any shit for it, and really only one time, and it was on 33s. So until I get shit for driving it, why would I not drive it? That's always been my thing.
Well, I totally agree with you. I'm keeping mine drivable, but at the same time, I like having a trailer for when I go to Roush. It means that I can do something as dumb as what I did
Build it
on
right,
Crawler
so you don't need
Ridge.
a trailer.
Yeah, you might want to bring a trailer to Roush this year.
Yeah. For the longer ones, I think it makes sense because the drive back was fucking miserable.
Well, the drive back seemed like it was going to be fucking miserable for you, and then on top of that, it's like, what do you do when you have a catastrophic retard failure?
Listen, if it was gonna be catastrophic, it would have happened. The water had no. I've said it like past 3 podcasts. It had no oil in it. It was all water.
No, I don't mean even on the transmission. I'm talking like in my case where
Just-
you're ripping brackets up, or Curtis's case where you're destroying shit like that.
Then yeah, I'm hosed and.
Well, actually, we weren't hosed because Nick had a coworker's dad that lived 5 minutes away.
Oh,
from the
that's
park
right.
That
Yeah,
has
you
a
had
full shop and everything.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
that's
could've just welded it
awesome.
back together. And the guys next to us had a fucking mobile welding station.
Yeah, we could have gotten anything fixed.
It would have worked out.
It would have worked out, but it would have been sketch fab.
It wasn't
of
already. I
course.
had to go to the. I don't know how there's no part stores. We've said this before as well. There's not a single part store close to Roush Creek. Whoever opens one, like
they should just Advanced Auto should just open one in Roush Creek.
just at the parking lot, just like
just put it in the parking lot.
and just put like Super Duty axle parts and like Jeep stuff and whatever else wheels there. I don't know, and they make so much money.
So
that's funny.
I have to ask at this point, Curtis, now that you're getting more familiar with your rig, what if you could have built a different chassis, what would it have been? Or would you have just gone tube?
Yeah, so you love your Jeep now, but
okay, what I really
what would you sell it for?
$5. I got no $6 and a goat leg.
No, I didn't mean money. Now. I meant like, what would you? Sorry,
I need about $350.
No, you need to get rid of it and get something else.
Oh man, that's a tough one because
I'll give you a black Cherokee.
No more unibodies for me. Never again.
Okay. But, I'll weld the frame onto it, and then you can have it.
I think like my dream rig would be like a wide open designs chassis that I got the pieces for, like a DIY chassis, because I can't let someone else weld that. Fuck that. Toxic masculinity won't let me do that. But do all of that, build something like that, and then set like a TJ tub on top of it.
Interesting.
Okay.
So I could have a hard top still. I could make it fit a cage that could fit inside of a hard top because I don't care about the back seats. I'm not bringing passengers with me. And then I'd have a tube chassis. It would still technically have a VIN number to it because of the TJ body. So I'd have everything that I would need for it to be streetable still, that I could register it here. And then I would have a lightweight chassis that I could stick any motor I want into it.
What motor would you do? Because my guess is just another 4-liter.
Hell no!
It's so simple. It's
no,
4-liter.
No.
6.0.
I mean, I wasn't
twin turbos.
6.0. No RPMs in the big motors, bro.
Yeah,
I'm gonna put a
7.3
Goliath in it, or Godzilla in it. Big displacement pushrod motors. But
lightweight chassis, heavy as fuck motor.
Motor weighs more than the chassis does. But no, I'd probably do something, either a 5.3 or a 4.8. If I did the 4.8, I'd probably stroke it out to somewhere in the neighborhood of about 5.3 ish, and then throw a big ass turbo on it, or 2 turbos for that matter, and just wheel the shit out of it like that. Put a 400 turbo 400 behind it, or a 700 R4, one of the old transmissions, nothing electronic, nothing newer. Keep it simple, and then 205 behind it, because you don't need a doubler when you got that much horsepower.
Nah, I'm sorry. If you're going to spend that much money, I want at least an Atlas 4.3 in there, because I would like to have the ability to crawl.
Okay, I can see that. I could do that. And actually, if I was spending that much money, I'd probably have a 4-speed Atlas in there, to be honest.
XJ Mike's 4-speed Atlas is sexy.
Yeah, I don't even know what his ratios are, but I'm pretty sure he's got very low ratio final, and that thing crawls better than anything I've ever seen crawl.
I do have to say, though, in comparison to Jamie's rig definitely puts on the better backyard performance, if you will.
I mean, yeah, when he's clearing out all the mosquitoes for the next 2 counties with his tires and oil burning, it's pretty good.
But that is a Wrangler buggy I can get behind. I'll get behind that one. I like that thing.
Yeah,
There's some buggy. I like Jim Overly's rig too. His rig, something about the look of his that I like as well. And
Overly's rig is fucking sick because it's just...
But I wouldn't call it a Wrangler. I mean, it's got
It's
a
a CJ. If anything, it started as a CJ, but I appreciate his just no fucks given attitude with it.
Yep.
I appreciate
no compromise
anybody
thing too. He's kind of
that wheels with a no fucks given attitude.
So
hi, welcome to the club.
So,
Yeah.
were you there for the notorious 2.5 incident where someone was out there breaking hearts with 2.5 and Dana 30 on 37s with the 35, if I remember right? On
It
that
was
MJ?
red. Yeah, it was red with no bed.
We saw those videos coming out. Those were entertaining.
Oh yes, Chris. Yes. Sorry, I thought you guys were talking to each other about that when something that happened out there, but no. I know
No.
who you're talking about, dude. Chris is a fucking riot. Him and Aaron Osterman, they're both from the east side of the state. They are an absolute fucking riot to wheel with. Aaron's got that beautiful gold MJ.
Love
Ooh.
it. Love
Oh
it. I've
god,
been drooling over that thing for
yeah.
years on Instagram. Fucking gorgeous.
Oh man, dude, those are some of the coolest guys to wheel with. I mean, Chris does not give a shit. He literally was bouncing that thing off of trees, rocks, limiter all weekend long. Like our cabin, we weren't camping with them. They stayed at a different cabin on the other side of the property. But anytime he was nearby or on the trails near our cabin, you knew it because you just heard that thing bouncing off the limiter. And you could tell it because it sounded completely different than all of the other 4-liters.
Because it was a 2.5.
Well, the point is that it was a Jeep event, so there's a bunch of 4-liters, so you can hear all the 4-liters bouncing off the limiter.
Gotcha.
But you can definitely tell when it's not a 4-liter. Like somebody shows up in their full tube chassis buggy with open headers, you're like, "Oh, I got a chub. Where you at?"
Fair. Doesn't the 2.5 have like a ridiculous, rev limiter? What I'm blanking on what it's called.
Limit?
Red
Yeah,
line.
the limit. Where's the red line? What is it on that thing?
I don't know, but I want to say it's pretty freaking high. I want to say
It's like 6,000 if I remember right.
I
Six-
want to say it's
7.
6,000 or 6,500 because he's got a aftermarket tuner on that, I believe.
Oh my god. I can only
Maybe.
imagine.
And he's got the limiter set higher than normal. So,
That's incredible.
dude, it's insane. And to watch some of the shit that dude does on 33s with that thing is unbelievable. I mean, I couldn't do that, half of that shit on 40s
Well, hit
or
rev
even
limit
37s. Yeah,
and you'd be good.
okay, now that I'm on my own rig, I'm starting to get comfortable. My balls are getting a lot bigger. Leave me alone. I'm getting there.
And then suddenly you'll find yourself in front of a flock of JKs and your rig's just gonna shoot itself apart because you're just not in the mood to give a fuck.
That's kind of what happened at Roush. That's how I bent my upper control on the taco. I decided to try to show off for the JK crowd because they were doing 5 miles an hour on the green trails. It's like, get the fuck out of my way. I want to get back to camp right now. So Mike jumped, Jason jumped. Fuck it, I'm gonna jump it too. Nope. Bad. Every time I get cocky, my shit breaks.
It's a humbling lesson. It's kind of what's happening, it seems.
It always.
This whole podcast has me like itching to wheel.
Same.
We need to get it.
Dude, I got back. I washed that thing off and I put it in the garage, and all of a sudden I got really depressed because I'm like, well, shit. The next time I'm gonna wheel this thing is in like 6 months. Oh, fuck it. I just shut the garage door, locked the door, and I haven't been back in there since.
Dude,
And
the
that was
other
what, 2 weeks? 2 weeks ago on Sunday or something like that.
the other day when it was really nice out, we had like a gorgeous like 65-degree day, and I was sitting on my back porch and I'm just looking at my Jeep like, I just want to fucking wheel you, beat the shit out of you. I'm just sitting there just smoldering over. I'm like, come on, wheeling season.
We ought to get something going. Like, I mean, if
I know
I'm
that
trying-
Kissh has something going in early May or mid-May.
okay, I want to get Jacob's shit rolling as well. By the opener, we can do it. His motor's running good. Put a new carbonator on the thing, and it's like you actually turnkey idles and it drives. And we just fixed. We cut out like a quarter of the fucking cab to redo a body mount that was fucked, and to redo the floor on the driver's side. And the thing doesn't fucking squat on the driver's side about 3-4 inches when you press the clutch, because it's a mechanical clutch which is connected to the frame and the motor and the body. So because that whole side was rotted out, it just would squish the whole side down. We cut it all out. I'm sure you guys saw the pictures. He was posting them, and it's exciting because he's actually like, it's almost there. We need to do a little bit more suspension wise and reliability wise, but I think he could putz around on greens and blues, some easy blues, and I'm excited to actually get him out there because he hasn't wheeled in fucking years. What was that?
So I don't know. So why did you have a 37 on your J20?
Oh, well, see, we've got a ton of 37s floating around the shop right now, and we had a spare from the purple Jeep, which is on 8x6.5s, and I was like, I'm putting this on because I was talking with Colin, and he was like, 37 on that thing. I was like, what do you mean I can't fit a 37 on? It's got a 2-inch body lift. There's no way it won't fit. So I drove it in there because I wasn't planning on working on it, but then the electric fan died, so I had to go and, we ended up cutting a ton of shitty wiring out and putting a bunch of new wiring in to clean things up. Mm-hmm. And I took the 37 from the corner, the spare, and bolted it on, and it would rub, but going straight, it doesn't rub. So, and it looks fucking sick. Like, minimal cutting, and you could just run 37s on that thing, and it would be super happy.
That's awesome.
But would the drivetrain be super happy?
Oh yeah,
I don't care. It's literally
fine.
a 360 that's definitely been overheated like several times. I don't give a fuck. When it blows up, it blows up, but I'll put a 6.0 on it. And it's got, I don't even know what
tow truck. Yeah.
Wait, so you're keeping the J10?
The thing is, there's a guy with an 8.1 Allison combo from a different Chevy truck that he's been working on it, but I forget why he stopped working on it. The guy isn't. I don't want to say he's not he's a good guy, but he's just not that mechanically inclined to work on some of the stuff. Doesn't have the time for it. Whatever. He was selling it for $2,000 the whole truck, and I was like, oh, I could put an 8.1 and an Allison in the thing, and that'd be stupid too.
Yes, do it. Tell me that wouldn't be the most rad fucking setup.
It would be stupid.
Dude, matching wheels on the truck, or the truck to the trailer to the Jeep, all in like the same color combo, running down the road to fucking Roush, dude. That would look so baller. Gotta do it, dude.
It would.
It would. You're just going to run into the fact that you're going to deal with old truck problems.
Not with new motors. I mean,
exactly.
I need the bench.
Well, I mean, you're still going to deal with the frame. You're still going to deal with the small brakes.
Not if I put Super Duty axles in it.
Exactly. Ooh. Now we're getting into the spirit, Graham. I love it.
But what about the frame?
His actual Jeep. He unhooks the truck from the trailer.
Yes.
Out of the trailer. Yes.
Yes. We got the tow rig backup wheeler.
Yes. No, that's a statement. You got to. Actually, that'd be fucking hilarious. You bring it down to Roush, you leave the Jeep on the trailer, you disconnect the truck and just go wheel the truck. Leave the Jeep sitting there. It's like, oh yeah, I came to bring this. That was my backup, you know?
You know what's fucking insane though? I saw some dude did I think it was not held. Oh, what the fuck? It's that really long climb at Moab in a stock F250.
What the fuck?
Yeah,
I know what you're talking about, the one that's up the really, like, it's like 8 foot wide, and on either side it's just sheer drop off almost.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yes, I know what you're talking about. Yep. Fuck that. I watched a video. Nope.
I'm down for that.
There's barely enough room up top to turn around, is what, like, the videos I was seeing. Fuck that.
I'll do it backwards.
Fuck that.
With the wheel disconnected?
With the wheel disconnected?
Yes.
No. With like the steering wheel.
Yeah. I know what you meant. I don't know about that one.
That's pushing the boundaries a little bit.
Yeah, that might be pushing it just a little bit.
Hey, it'd be really
You might have-
testing your ability to fabricate, you know?
Hey, Curtis.
You guys might
Here's
just have to
the
get me
deal.
really liquored up to do it.
Here's the deal. We'll give you a set of vice grips to use as the steering wheel, so you can look really baller holding your steering wheel out the window, but be kicking the vice grip
or-
between your knees.
They'll be like,
I
how
was
is the
gonna
wheel
say-
still turning?
That or we unbolt my orbital, we pull it out the hood, and you sit on the hood and turn the orbital
Oh my
with vice
god.
grips.
Fuck.
I am
That's
gonna
high
sign. I am not gonna sign up for that.
Aw,
You can
okay, I'll
have
sit
that
on the
one.
hood. You can ride in the Jeep.
Okay, I'll do that. We'll just throw it into that double low and just be like, Bert.
All the way up at like a mile an hour.
That's funny.
If that.
Yeah.
Oh god. I still can't wait for this season. It's gonna be a good year.
I'm stoked, dude. I'm so stoked. I want to hit more blacks this year. I didn't really get to expel
Yeah,
my
end of the
Jeep's
year, you were doing
inabilities.
more. You were
Mhm.
doing a couple blacks here and there, more so than you were initially.
Oh,
Some of the-
absolutely. Yep. After Badlands, it really gave me the confidence that I was just like, if I think I can make it, there's a good chance I can. And if I can't, if my asshole friends are telling me, yeah, but I mean, it's like if my asshole friends are telling me I can make it, then there's a really good chance I probably can't, but I'm going to. Like, but just also like Richie's house has probably been the biggest influence on that. In reality, just being able to look at something and go, can I even make it around that? Like, there's this weird quartz fucking face rock facing me, but can I put my tire up on top of that and climb up the rest of the other slate shelf that's on there? You know, it kind of allowed me to have that preference to do it. Fuck it, you know?
Yeah, we'll have to take Curtis to that place after Badlands.
Or before.
You know.
Okay, wait.
I don't know,
When is
before-
this Badlands trip?
July.
The second week in July. Or second weekend in July.
I can't. I
You
can't get off of
motherfucker.
work.
We
No,
told you
no,
so
no.
many months ago.
I can't because my one coworker always takes the week after the 4th off. So I can have the week before, but because it's only 2 of us in the lathe department, I'm not able to take.
Well, we might be
technically
able.
there's 3.
I don't think the Badlands
Yeah.
trip is set in stone, is it?
No,
I mean, if you guys could do
It
it,
could be anywhere in July, anytime in
well,
July. It's always
actually,
in July.
it might be because for the reason of I know Rockaholics I think takes it the week before or the weekend before, so we would have to push it back, which in reality is probably not the worst thing in the world. But I do think we'd have to have Sean reach out and see kind of what weekends are open
I
from
don't
them.
know if we have anything scheduled.
God,
at the
I would
moment.
love
I'd have to talk to
if
Rob.
you guys could land it on the weekend of the 4th. I know
mean,
you
we
guys
could definitely try. That'll be the easiest for a lot of people too. A lot of people have access onto that weekend off.
Yeah, that
Exactly.
would give
So
me
I
an
would
get it.
extra.
You'd have to.
I'd have Monday
it hasn't
off
already
to
been
travel
booked.
home.
Yeah.
Then
But that would
I
also
could
make
come
it
out there.
Oh, sorry. That would make it a 3-day trip for me without any problems because I have that week off.
Yeah. So that
You have that whole week off, Luke. I'm taking that whole week off already too. So guess
I'll
what we're
take-
doing? We're
All
doing
right.
7
Wheeling.
days of wheeling.
Let's go fucking wheeling, boys. I'm Graham. You're just bring the computer fucking with you. We'll bring Wi-Fi and a laptop. He's doing IT shit while working, taking tickets. We got this. We'll set my laptop up. We'll be good.
I just got a
There we go.
zesty text from Jeremy. Fucking, there's sparkles in his Dana 30 from his Detroit.
That's normal. That's pretty normal. If
Yeah.
it's brand new. I mean, are we talking
Am I
sparkles
supposed to
or
change
like,
the fluid? I'd not.
Because I mean,
I've
the
never
first,
checked mine.
It looks like at the moment, from what he's saying, that his Detroit Dana 30 locker has eaten itself and taken out
okay,
both
so
carrier
we're not
bearings.
we're
Fun.
not just talking
So just Super Duty
sparkles.
axle swap.
We're talking chunks, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know about chunks yet, but there are broken bolts in the
Oh,
pan from the Detroit.
God.
Bolts.
Bolts?
Yes.
Bolts?
That's not glitter.
Bro,
There's a difference between bolts and glitter.
glitter, if you throw it at someone, doesn't hurt. Bolts, when you throw it, hurts. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That was probably the
Jesus.
best Snapchat I've opened this year.
Holy shit. That sucks. I mean, at least it's just a Dana 30. Those things are cheap as dog shit.
Yeah, but you couldn't rebuild his Dana 30 cheap as dog shit. He's got all that custom shit done to
No,
it, so he's gonna
internals,
rebuild
dude.
it.
Internals are cheap.
They're not that much cheaper than going Dana 60.
There's a
Really?
reason
Really?
I built the
Oh.
axle that I had sitting in my driveway instead of rebuilding the Dana 30 when I grenaded it.
So then why did we do a Dana 30 and a 44 my piece of shit, huh?
Because
You
at
haven't
that
blown
point
them
in
up yet.
time, you
You're still on your
wanted.
training wheels.
At that point
Blowing
in
up training
time, you
wheels.
didn't want to go to 1 tons directly.
Yeah. I mean, I still don't. And Graham, don't you worry. The day that it catastrophically explodes, it'll be phenomenal. Probably looking at first weekend in July. It'll be a good time.
Cool.
We'll send her on her way. And hopefully, watch. I bet you, even if I don't have my SYE yet, my fucking that won't even explode. So the thing you've been giving me
You'll
so
have
much
it
shit
by
about.
You'll have mine if you're taking
Yeah,
that.
I guess you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to.
And
If
the
it's still
only
an
thing
option.
you need to do to fix that thing to have
Of
it
course,
be
yep.
231 is replace the pump, because the pump that I have is fucked.
So I pay you extra for you to pump. Perfect.
Maybe.
Okay, hey, I'll take a maybe. I'll take the maybe.
Oh man.
Damn. So,
Away from a 231, so I
damn.
don't have to work on 231.
Fine. I'll do the pump and it'll explode, and then I'll just blame you. How's
Well,
that
then
sound?
you don't have to put a pump in it. The only reason it screams because the pump is internally shredded. It still works. If it stopped screaming, I'd be concerned. But everything
I feel
on
about-
this 231 has been swapped except for the pump, because the brand new from Sean 231 that I got was missing everything, or had everything but the pump. It was missing the pump. Somebody had taken it. Put brand new transfer case in, put my SYE guts in, my wider chain, bigger gear, or whatever the hell it is on the input or front output.
Yep.
And only thing that I kept was that stupid pump. And it sounds exactly like it used to. Nothing changed. So it's that pump that is making the noise. So
Well, that's
Alright.
annoying.
I don't give a fuck about no noise. My Jeep has I'm pretty sure my exhaust drone will just completely cancel that noise out.
You know what you should do?
it
pull the
doesn't.
pump
It sounds
out.
miserable.
Fill the case with gear oil. Fuck it, good enough.
I was thinking water. I heard it runs really good on water.
No, they don't. The plastic doesn't like water. The
Well, hold
plastic
on.
things, the shit forks,
Yeah.
they'll last for 6 months, but then they'll
So-
just die.
So what if I JB weld it? If it's not moving, it can't scream, right?
You could just take the pump out.
Yeah, fuck it, right? I mean, at that
I
point,
think it kind of needs the pump.
it don't
Yeah,
need.
it
It's a
does,
231.
Because
It'll survive.
Otherwise, the plastic pieces get no lube, and then the plastic
That's why you
becomes
fill it with gear oil.
Aluminum.
Then it gets lube.
No, KY jelly.
to the brim.
Oh.
Just fill
Oh,
the
so
whole
we're
thing.
gonna do it like they do with Rockwell and just shove grease in it and fill it.
Yes,
sounds
that
good.
is how we do it around here, but I think we're kind of slowing down a little bit. Anyone have any final thoughts?
I wouldn't say we're slowing down. We're just getting to the KY jelly.
Yeah.
All right, well then maybe off podcast discussion?
No, we can't talk about this stuff on the channel.
We should pretend to be professional once in a blue moon.
Once in a while, you guys got to be good people.
Alrighty, well, thanks for listening. And remember, if your friends can't do it, just do it backwards.